I did it again. I muted us all. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Where's My Sage, a Taste of the Universe. I'm Mike from Tactical Bigfoot Research, and here's my wonderful co-host, Kristie London.
Hello.
Wondering how everybody is doing anything. Kristie, how are you?
I'm great. You're always the lighter side of my evening.
Yeah.
And I usually win a lot of bets with the whole mute thing. So I'm great. How are you?
Yeah. Got some folks tuning in now. So, hello, Anthony.
Oh, God.
There we go. My daughters are Ricky. Her dad is Ricky. Oh, Melanie. Hello there.
Hi, everybody.
How's everybody doing?
That's so fun.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
I'm sorry I have to pick on you.
It's okay. It's been one of those weeks. Now we're in trouble. Okay.
Oh, hello. All right. We count on her.
Yep. Hello, Carrie. And good. We got folks coming in from YouTube. We got folks coming in from, good evening, Millie, from Facebook. We're coming at you live tonight on, let's see, YouTube at Where's My Sage? Where's My Sage on Facebook? Kristie's business page, Tactical Bigfoot Research, and our new home, WLFE DB Radio.
Excellent.
Go.
Yay!
So,
all right, Teddy, he got it right.
Hi, Diana. So, Kristie, you want to tell the good news going on?
Okay, you got to prepare me before you drop the bomb. There's so much going on. I don't know which thing you're talking about.
Did we get a great email in the last
we
24
did
hours?
Okay, that thing. Yes, we did. Yay! So we were just informed that our numbers were good enough and we were accepted into the iTunes platform. So you will be able to find our show on iTunes now as well. So we are very, very, very excited. And of course, my voice is going to go again. Sorry, guys. I got my tea, took my cold medicine. We'll see. But yeah, we're really excited. That was really one of the highlights of our week. This is really cool. We're having a really good time doing this. So I can't wait. It's a little nerve wracking, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
very big honor, though.
Thank you, Brian. Brian's a new face to me here from Bearded Paranormal.
Hello.
Hey, Jason, guys. So, wow, trying to catch up with them. They're coming in.
Excellent. Come on, keep him on his toes.
Yeah. So, it's it's amazing. So, if you're looking for us, instead of looking at, you can look at Kristie's face. My ugly mug is not always the best thing. So you can find us on.
We can always put up a background or a forefront or something. Aw.
Catching myself in half voice here.
You're the comedy part of the show, remember? That's we laugh with you, we laugh at you, it's all good.
Yeah. Gotta laugh at me. It's the only way you can go.
Hey, we all have to laugh at ourselves, right? Right, guys? We have to laugh at ourselves. If we don't find humor in things, especially now, then we're in trouble. My light's doing some funky stuff tonight, isn't it? I'm like orange.
Ow.
I got some strong spirits with me tonight, I can tell you that.
We have an argument with that certain person. He tends to stay that way. So
yeah, I'm noticing. It's all right.
Yep.
It's all good. It's all good. He's in my playpen now. So how is everybody else doing? How's everybody else doing? Or should we just bring Melanie right on? We have an awesome guest tonight, you guys. I can't wait. She's a friend of mine. She's a mentor of mine. She is just one of the most energetic, amazing, cool people you will ever, ever, ever meet in your whole life. She's so passionate about everything, and the people in her life and the things that she does and her purpose in this life. It's there she is, the Miss Amazing Melanie Rimkus. Mike just was like, yeah, you're not going on forever, so we're just going to bring her on.
That's awesome.
You know what?
I was enjoying
Welcome,
the
Melanie. I thought you would, so you can yell at Mike later for that. I was trying to give you a nice,
I wanted to see the reaction to her face.
Yeah,
she's always smiling. She's always happy.
She is. She absolutely. It's infectious. That was what I was trying to say. You're infectious. It's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
I'm so excited. I'm so grateful to be here. I love your guys' show. I love to watch it. So I have so many. I almost feel like I want to interview you guys. I have a ton of questions. I want. So today, I'm so excited. What I really would love to talk about, and I don't know if you guys have had anybody on the show to talk about Reiki and energy and all of that. I would almost love to start with that.
You're our first energy person.
Yes, you are.
I just scheduled our second energy person today.
Well, right now, with everything that's going on with the coronavirus and the importance of getting our body, our mind, body, and soul, technically back into health, that energy healing is really going to come to the forefront. So you're going to see a lot more healers out there. In fact, traditionally, Reiki is what I do. So Reiki is a Japanese holistic energy modality. So Kristie also is a Reiki master, as am I. And Reiki was established.
So,
sorry.
So
I'm like, I forgot. Sometimes I just use the Bigfoot guy.
That's because you did it with somebody else who's awesome, but who didn't do it with us. So we won't hold it against
him. Who Mike trained under sounds very impressive.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, but I spent some time with you as well. So
That's true.
Yeah, we've started to corrupt it. It's been great.
Yeah, very well rounded.
Right.
So the Japanese style of Reiki existed for a very long time, and it is actually, I would say, we're going on almost 100 years that Mike Hawasui's style of Reiki energy healing has come about. And just recently, because traditionally that was taught in person most of the time. So just last week, I actually held my first class via Zoom online teaching Reiki. And there's a lot of controversy out there. There's this thing called the attunement process. Can you really do attunements without being in person? And what an attunement is thought as that is how the Reiki energy gets channeled from a Reiki master into the student. Mike Hawasui, a long time ago, when he established this, he never did attunements. That was brought in by a lady named Takata that brought it to the West. So do I believe attunements can be done via distance? I have to say yes. And I'm ready to take the controversy. It worked. And this is my example is, as Kristie would know, is you can read somebody in Australia, right? Over the phone or over Zoom, correct?
Right.
So you have to be able to tap into their energy. And distance Reiki, you can send Reiki via distance, you can send prayers, and you can send love via distance. So why would there be all of a sudden a wall that doesn't allow you to learn Reiki via distance? So I did it.
Okay.
And I think we're moving with the new times in the technological era of the Aquarius. It was phenomenal. The students had said that they felt the energy, they felt the shift, they felt the change. So I think that with you guys bringing on healers, it's very important because this is what it is now. And if I can't get to you in person, that should not stop the energy from being able to flow.
Right.
So I've been saying for a while you could send through a phone.
Absolutely. There's just no doubt about it. So I really do feel like that this whole spiritual / Reiki healing thing is going to start changing. And another point to bring out is I really focus on the word kokoro. And that, again, is a Japanese word for mind, body, and soul as one.
Yep.
So in the Western world, we think of the body as independent of the soul. and the mind. We sort of see it as three different parts. And in Japan, they kind of, and any Eastern culture really sees that typically as one whole thing. So it would be very important to focus now and going forward on making sure that we're trying to keep the physical health along with our mental health and along with our spiritual health, bringing it back into balance instead of just saying, all right, well, I need to eat healthy and then I'm going to be healthy. No, if your mind's not healthy, if you're stressed out about something, or if you haven't really found your connector to why you're here, or source, so to speak, or the universe, then we function all together as a unit. And I think if we can try to just bring a little bit of balance into these areas, that we're going to find, well, as a whole, we're going to be a lot healthier. And you see the amount of, and I hate to bring Corona up, but it exists. So we're going to bring it up. Why hide the big elephant
in the room?
So, obviously in the United States, our numbers are, nothing to be bragging about. And I do think with our culture and the way that we eat and the way that we think, if we can check ourselves and bring in that kokoro, that mind, body, and soul, we start to live that way, that we could improve our health and maybe not have the situation we're in. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
A lot of words.
Mike looked like he was going to say something. So
yeah,
Michael.
I realized that you can go a little PC for a minute. Just the difference in energy between upstate and downstate. So we're not going to get into that,
Right. And I mean, there's a lot of different things that are going on, but that focus, what can we do with our time at home? We can meditate. Right. We can just ground ourselves. Try to change our diet. I almost think like we're in quarantine. What does it matter what I eat? This doesn't happen every day. It's almost like when you go on vacation to an all-inclusive. You're like, let's just eat everything we possibly can. And when I get home,
or like when you're pregnant,
right? I mean,
and you're like, oh, I can eat whatever I want, no big deal. The baby comes, and 6 months later, you're still 80 pounds overweight. Well, you learn it the hard way, right?
Right. So
I don't know anything about that.
No.
Nothing, not at all.
So, I mean, that was my mentality, truthfully, when we first got into quarantine. Yeah. I mean, that's how I satiated myself. I wasn't depressed. I ate coffee, ice cream every night, some Doritos. I haven't eaten those in forever. They're so good. But
together?
One after another. if I didn't find it.
Oh, okay. I get that.
What's wrong with the Dorito scoop,
Not absolutely nothing. I mean,
right? But I kind of put myself
Doritos and ice cream, man.
Honestly, it's not. And you just throw some Fruity Pebbles on top, and it's really good.
Yes, Captain Crunch.
But
yes, what we do.
Are you even spying on him?
I love food. I mean, seriously, let's talk about Fruity Pebbles. They are like the best thing invented. I think they're the best.
Yeah,
I love them. My favorite cereal.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they're awesome. I prefer Cocoa Pebbles, but hey, that's okay.
They make the chocolate milk
so
when you're done, and then you drink.
I know.
So good. Okay,
we love our chocolate. There's nothing wrong with that.
So this probably wasn't a food show, right?
I always get it in there.
Well, it can be anything we want it to be.
That's true. A little taste of the universe, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Didn't you call it soul food?
Absolutely.
I think that's what you named it.
Soul food,
right? So maybe we are talking about the right thing.
Absolutely.
But
that's right.
Seriously, instead of just feeding our need and our mind to satiate our stress, we should probably feed our soul too. So that's like really what I think we should all really focus on is balancing that mind, that body, and that soul. So, we'll get there. But everything's going to change that way. And I think it's going to make us all better. It's going to make us all better. So
I agree. I agree for sure.
Mike, Bigfoot.
Yes.
Can we talk Bigfoot? I didn't mind that.
She's ready to jump out of her chair.
Let's talk Bigfoot.
I just want to say hello to Eddie, who runs Bigfoot Quest. And, yeah,
hey.
So
hello.
We're getting some Bigfoot folks in there, and John that just came on.
Hi, Johnny.
And Lee for first time coming in.
Hi.
Love you too. Hi.
So Bigfoot, I'm sure Bigfoot knows a lot about. I did. So this is okay. Let's step back about 6 years ago, right? Maybe 7 years ago. I used to watch Finding Bigfoot on TV all the time. That's it. With my husband and his daughter, so my stepdaughter. And, you know, if you've ever watched Finding Bigfoot, it has that like roar in the beginning, and they're never going to find Bigfoot. And they're fun characters, Bobo and all that. But I'm like, why are we watching this every week? I'm like, Rob, and you know, I was a practicing psychic medium. I'm like, you know, Bigfoot is just not real. It's not real. This is, why are we doing this every week? And he'd be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. So we get married.
Talking to dead people, yes.
But Bigfoot, no. I mean, no way. It's just not, no, just the answer to that is no.
I think about the same thing about you guys, but my eyes have been
exactly.
Especially the energy
exactly why we're
put me down that path, you know?
Right?
Yeah.
So absolutely. I always say the universe kind of throws it back at you. So we were doing a secondary honeymoon celebration in Lake Tahoe. So my husband actually had to work there, and I flew out with him. It was after we had gotten married. And we were driving through, I don't know, we were on our way to Lake Tahoe, and I had made a comment in the car again because he said, this is prime squatching territory. And I'm like, Bigfoot's not real. Literally, stop it. We're not, no, there's no squatches here. I was in squatching territory. Okay. The next day, we went to, I want to say it was, I always screwed up. I want to say Yosemite Park, maybe it was Yosemite. And we were in like looking at the sequoias, and we also saw the, those really, really big redwood trees, the really tall ones. I think they were redwoods. I'm not always so smart with everything, but we were driving. It was dusk time. So it's about, we were in a national park. It was about maybe 4:35, 6 o'clock. So it's where you can't see very well if you're getting old and your eyes aren't great. So it's dusking just a teensy bit. And if you've ever, I don't know if you guys have ever been to California or Lake Tahoe, but they have these roads that are not like in Western New York. They have these roads that like one car can drive on, and then there's a cliff with no guardrail, like literally no guardrail. I don't know if they go looking for you if your car falls off the road. I bet you they don't. So here I am, the passenger seat driver. Like I am watching everything. I'm like, okay, slow down. And he's like, we're going 5 miles an hour. I'm like, but. He's like, I'm not going to drive off the road. Do I usually drive off the road? And I'm like, you're going too fast. There's Winnebagos. And they're lined up like all over the place behind us. And we're just like tooling along really, really slow. So by the time we got to this part where we saw Bigfoot, I'm not really sure if anybody was behind us at that time. But I'm looking at the road. I'm following the road. My husband is looking at the road because he's driving. And we got to a point where there's a mountain and a mountain. So there was really no driving off the road. There was no cliff. And all of a sudden, from the right comes what looks like, I'm not joking, a Bigfoot across the street and then up the woods. And I'm like, I just remember looking, it's something across the street. And I'm like, I'm holding my finger out and I'm like, well, words weren't coming out. I was so stunned. Literally, looked like a human. A big human, like a huge person in a furry suit, because that's all you could understand it to be, that took one step in the middle of the road to the other part of the road. It might have caught like the shoulder and it was gone in the woods. And I'm thinking, what animal walks on two legs that looks like a Bigfoot? You know, I'm like, Mom, did you see that? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, I think that was a Bigfoot. He's like, I don't know. I'm like, well, could it be a bear? And he's like, well, no, because you saw like the swing of the arms in the leg stride, like a human leg stride, like the two legs, like it was. And I was like, I can't believe I just said that there's no such thing as Bigfoot. And I just saw a Bigfoot. Now one of the people that said they saw a Bigfoot and I looked like an idiot. Nobody's going to believe me. But and it was like a darker brownish black. And you couldn't see its face. And why would somebody be in the middle of nowhere in a monkey suit? And there's no backpack and we're in the middle of nowhere. And I don't know. I'm telling you, I 100%, and I had my husband there with me to witness it. Listen, I truly saw Bigfoot. If you really want to see a Bigfoot, you just tell the universe that there is literally no such thing as Bigfoot, and then you see it. But it shakes my whole world, because if there's Bigfoot, then is there gnomes? Are there fairies? I mean, did you understand? My whole life just turned upside down at that moment.
So it didn't turn upside down when you started talking to dead people? It was all it was still a Bigfoot thing.
Yeah, the dead people didn't do anything.
No, people are real.
That's like when someone says to me, "You're gonna think I'm crazy, but," and I look at them like, "Are you for real right now?" I'm like, what do I do for a living?
I know, right? I still think, like, I know I saw it, but part of me still wants to think that it couldn't have been. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
But
I don't know.
I've heard you tell this story in front of a large group of Bigfoot people before I even met you. It was actually 2 years before I met you.
Yeah.
And then you've told me this story once on the phone, kind of in passing when we were at your event.
Yeah.
When we were doing the energy healing. So, you've been right on there. And this is the most I've gotten to see your face, because usually we're kind of like walking somewhere or something. And yeah, it's there. I mean, hopefully Joe Pieri catches us later. He was posting some stuff about Bigfoot nightmares, you know?
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
We've got
quite
a few Bigfoot folks in here watching right now. And if they got any questions or anybody has any questions, please throw it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, I mean, it was a split second. Like, though it happened so fast. And I think the fact is, you see those movies where people, like, you get stunned and it wasn't even fear. It was just like disbelief. Like, I was trying, and my husband was obviously looking, and I was pointing my finger and words weren't, it's like, I couldn't get the words out to say Bigfoot. It came out like after Bigfoot crossed. Like, that's like the sheer seeing something that you just doesn't exist. That's the best way to say it. Like, I think that's how I would react if I saw an alien.
Okay.
You know?
Did you get to see the face at all?
No, not at all. Nope. It was like a deer that crossed the street, but it wasn't a deer. And I can tell you, though, being on the pasture side, I did see it coming out of the woods a little bit, but you can't really tell what's coming out of the woods. It was literally like a second of it crossing the street, and it was like, it's almost like it disappeared into the woods. Like, because the woods kind of went up. And the woods weren't that dense. It wasn't like it was that dense. It just disappeared into the woods. It was gone. So no face, literally just saw the arm stride, the body stride. It looked bigger than a human, but not ungodly huge, if that makes any sense. Maybe 6 to 8 foot in height, but nothing like really big. It was within a distance of maybe past social distancing in front of our car. So like 10 to 15 feet. So it was still a little bit far up, because I remember, like, it crossed the street and we were going by where it would have crossed and looking up going, why didn't it have a backpack? Right? It couldn't have been a bear. It didn't have the shape of a bear head necessarily. But I think what I was taking was the arm strides. Like, bears have short, and bears do walk on 2 feet sometimes. But like the leg and arm stride was very humanoid. If someone was to say the only way possible or plausible would be a person in a costume, a really good one, I would say sure. But how did they disappear? How did they walk the distance of the street so fast? And why are you walking the middle of a national park in a gorilla suit in front of cars?
Right.
I don't know. So I have questions. So
go.
No, I was going to say, do you think they teleport? Because I've heard from Michael
Oh,
Bastine.
there it is. There it is.
I've heard from Michael Bastine, who is a Native American in the Western area, who's highly respected. And he says that it's the little Bigfoots that get seen, the younger ones, and that they teleport. So I can't say yay or I'm done saying something's not possible. But what is your opinion about Bigfoots being able to go from one space to another by disappearing?
So, I'm very analytical.
Yeah, no, I love that about you. That's what I want to know.
And I've seen a lot of things that are
about you.
things I can't explain. Between the energy healing, the paranormal investigations, my partner that finds things and points people in different directions, and and you doing readings, EVPs, ghosts telling me things, but I'm still on the physical aspects. I've seen where you have a deer come out of a field, you see it physically,
right,
and then it disappears.
True.
But that deer is standing behind a particular branch, tree, or whatever. I have a shepherd and a Doberman. I had the Doberman out back, and we watched it in, and she tracked, with her nose where it was. And we sat, and we didn't move. And a few minutes later, it moved out of that area. Now, I've had rocks thrown at me. I've heard screams. Jay's here with us right now. He was with me with the screams. We found some footprints. I've had, like I said, rocks thrown in my face. Can't find these things.
Now,
there's just too many things that you watch your deer that run across the road and they're gone. Or
true.
Bear,
It's true.
So where's it going? But I did catch a special recently, and they were talking about maybe a different vibration. Well, now that we're doing the energy healing, we know we can transfer that. We know we can change vibration.
Right.
So where's it at? What different animals can do different things? There was another one I heard recently on hair. What's that hair color? And some people are doing some experiments with different things. So, if we keep our eyes open and we document as much as we can.
Right.
I mean, you've heard me preach that for a year now, that documentation is the most important thing.
I agree.
Then we can go and put everything on top of everything and look and see what we've got in a big. But, that is the teleportation. Me personally, no. But I got a background in archaeology and anthropology. So you want to look at what the former cultures have. So, unfortunately, I probably don't have an answer for you. So
this is my opinion as of now, anyways. Michael, what kind of PJ pants do you have?
Okay. So she reached out to me
for
one
those
day
of you who don't,
hey, are you wearing plaid pants? And I said,
don't worry, it's not some freaky, weird, inappropriate story. It's just,
And then, are you in a wood room? It was just a text message.
Probably should have.
And it's like right after I met her.
How funny,
right?
I sat down on the couch, grabbed the blanket, throw over my legs.
Plaid.
So my point is this:
wood room. So
if I can do it, and there are other people who can astral project,
right?
Naturally, I do it more when I'm reading. It's more of a remote viewing, not an astral projection. Although I know I'm capable of the astral projection. So, if Bigfoot is, for all intents and purposes, a living, breathing thing,
right?
Why is it not capable of the same things that we are then?
Right.
It's not one side versus the other. It's why can't it be everything? Because we already are. As human beings, we are. So why can't that also be? But I will also say, too, I just find it's really what I struggle with the most is the fact that Bigfoot has been around and cited, and I believe it's been cited and found, but we never find graveyard burials,
the bones
of any kind. And I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm saying why. That's the question that that really perplexes me the most.
I agree.
Well,
So,
they go different places, like elephants, your
right.
cats, your dogs. They go to quiet places to go.
Yeah, but even
really,
elephants
you
have
think about
graveyards.
So they go to the
even
Bigfoot cemetery.
dinosaurs have been found.
Well,
Bigfoot cemetery.
You know, what goes down into the earth? You know,
in the
like
third
if you take
dimension.
an area like this behind me, depends on the environmental conditions.
Yeah,
You know,
it's true.
there's farms
Right.
across the country that are designed for forensic exams where they leave bodies at level and dirt, and depending on the environment. And so,
conspiracy theory here. Ready? Because I'm down for it. First of all, real quick, Kristie, what socks did I put on today? It's okay. I'm totally
something Argyle.
Well, sort of, but like I wear my
Plaid
hair.
or Argyle.
I wear my big
yellow.
Socks.
Of course you did.
Of course I wear my Bigfoot socks today. All right, so
you're probably the same one my kiss on, okay?
I don't know.
No socks on right now.
So
it's not snowing here. I hear it's snowing in Buffalo, but not here yet.
No, we didn't get snow today. It was sunny but freezing cold.
Right.
But no snow, thank God.
So
just quick, just if I can remind everybody to share and like and all that mumbo jumbo while we're taking a coffee break there. So please let people know we're there. That's how it helped us get on iTunes and some of the other.
Yes.
Share
the love, spread the word.
So this is really jumping with the conspiracy theory. So everybody that's listening, watching, or typing in, okay. So we know that, and we're going back to Bigfoot, that TV show, because that's all I've ever watched before. So I don't really watch anything. So they did a season, and they had it all taped, and then all of a sudden, part of a season, they didn't talk about it anymore. It's disappeared. You paid for the season on iTunes or whatever, or whatever on your phone, and it's gone now. And so did they find Bigfoot? And did the government say you can't say that there's a Bigfoot because you don't want people to know? And so there might be people that found bones, but the men in black come, and then they take the bones, and then you have a gag order. What do you think? So
that is not too far off. I'm not gonna. Hey, I am. That makes
And their whole personality changed after the show. They're like their haircuts are different. The girl that was all like scientific didn't seem to be as non-believer as she would have been before. They seem to have like a chip on their shoulder. Conspiracy theory. It's okay. Nobody has to buy it. I don't know if I do, but I like to analyze all options. So,
I think you're painting a very universal picture of people's thoughts in one way or another.
Right.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, the other thing is it's TV, and they get kind of put into things. I've been to a couple events with Cliff, and they've got their own podcast now.
I do listen to it sometimes. So
yeah, and if you listen to them talk about how their show went, and actually, I hope to have a couple of guys on in a couple of weeks talking about some of the Bigfoot documentaries, some of the cryptid things, and
excellent.
I got 3 lined up, and I'm hoping for 2 more. I'm hoping I can get Adam to come on, but kind of depends on COVID and who's working and who's not working.
Right.
But I made sure to grab guys to go for Beast of Bray Road to Bigfoot to Loch Ness Monster. So
should be interesting.
Yeah.
So we have a question. Can we sneak this question in here? So Tara wants to know, how far back in time do you think the teleport occurs to the present? So Tara, though, are you talking about Bigfoot or teleporting in general? Because that could be a very wide.
I got a story for everything. I could go into stories, but to try to answer let's try. So anyways, how far back do you think it occurs to the present? I guess it could go both ways, right? You could teleport backwards or teleport forwards. I guess that we think time to be, what do they say, like a straight line, but it all exists in the now. So I think it can go in all directions. So have you guys ever had something missing? You put it there, and then it showed back up, but it wasn't there a second ago. Does that make sense? I've had multiple experiences. So maybe Bigfoots have the ability to tap in that ability to do it. So is it different dimensions we're in? Is it different realities? I could just go into 100 different stories. I will talk about, this is an interesting one. So we had a camper in the backyard. Okay, just a camper. One of those ones that you have to crank with the little crank handle to pop the pop-up open.
Wow.
So the crank handle was on the ground by the pop-up. Okay. I knew it was there. It had always been there. I had never touched it. It was just right there. And we were going to go ahead and move it and pop it up, make sure it was working. And I was gifting it to my sister. My husband couldn't find the crank. He's like, where'd it go? I'm like, I'm telling you, it was there. Missing. We looked all over. He's like, did you think someone came and stole it? I'm like, why would somebody steal a crank to the pop-up? So we kind of just pulled the trailer to my parents. They make something to get it to pop up. 1 week later, my husband's cutting grass back there. Literally, now under the pop-up, it was like all dirt. I mean, we looked, it should have been there. Would you believe it? It was there. It was just sitting there right on top. It hadn't rained. How did it just show back up? It wasn't there. So what do you think would have happened, Mike?
I think you would have a domestic and there's an evil kind of pushing you around and something's laughing at you.
I was also at a hotel once where you needed a key card and I was trying to turn the key card back to the desk. And I was like, I had both my pants on. I was checking both my pockets, hands in both pockets. The key card was totally disappeared. I knew I threw it in my back pocket. I had everybody check it. We couldn't find it. Drive home to 2.5 hours back to the house. I go to walk in the door and I put my hand in the back pocket and there's the key card.
So, but as a medium though, Mel, how do you think that? I
just think that
because spirit can play with us. Exactly. So are you talking parallel universes or are you talking parallel lives like ourselves? Like are we doing it to ourselves? Because that's a whole
parallel lives.
Okay. So you did it to yourself.
Yes. I have to tell you, I think it is that. I don't think it was spirit messing with me. It just happens too many different times. Not in that instance, do I think it can happen? Yeah, but now, Mike, have you ever had that happen? Have you guys had that happen? Like literally, for sure, unless you're going crazy, that something was put somewhere and then it got picked up and moved and put back.
Yep.
What do you think it is?
You do it with your keys all the time. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, that's why I take the black and white mind that I've had and then the black.
And all the different grays we've now put into it.
Yeah. Year and a half of moving where I have down the path. The Bigfoot thing's been a couple of years, but the paranormal is I delve more into it. And I look at remote viewing and how the military and the government's done it. And, the books that are out there, McGonagall's book and some of the spoon bending, how do you take A into B?
Right.
And as I mentioned before, my team is a bunch of scientists. And when they're going, well, where's quantum physics or where they're throwing a wrench in the works where they should be black and white. And they're like, well, maybe this is a different parallel, and you're like, you're the scientist. I need you to give me a definitive answer. And they're the ones going down the wormhole faster than I am. But, how do we come up with what we come up with? How do we, how does somebody decide, hey, we're going to do an energy transfer with a palm? And I've got thermal cam footage and I've got biofilm imaging footage of it.
Right.
It's
right.
It's just the thing. So, and I think Tara's got it here too is, do you travel in your dreams, higher dimensions? If so, how that might be related to what you've witnessed.
Ooh.
I like that.
You know, there's a lot of stuff that you see, and you know how many times I'm with you guys or Kristie on an investigation. Hey, this person was here, and then she has no information, and then we have the documentation, or we have technology, and how is that information going along? So we're still in our infancy, and where we're using our brains, or we already lost what we had. If we still had the libraries of Egypt and, you know, those things that we've lost, who knows what we were doing ahead of time, you know?
Well, sometimes I feel like you guys seen the movie Matrix with Tom Cruise, right? Back in the day. Yeah. You know how like they had all those
Keanu Reeves?
Yeah. Oh, maybe.
They
changed it now. It used to be Tom Cruise back in the day. No kidding. But you know how they had all those people kind of connected to the back of their head, and they were having this fake reality going on that didn't even exist? It was in the Matrix. Yes. Right. So sometimes I feel like I'm being screwed with. Like there is like a higher me that in a higher dimension, maybe I dropped myself there, and I'm messing with myself because I'll think something in my head, and I know it's probably guides or something, but is it? And something shows up. It's like some person's on a computer playing, what's that game that all the people, The Sims, playing The Sims with me and being like, oh, you caught on. I'm going to send you a little eye wink. That's right. I'm dictating your life. Like, I really do think sometimes when weird shit happens, you know, I'll think of something and it shows up on the TV or it happens way too much to me. And I always say, maybe I'm in sync with the universe. I swear there's somebody up there who's literally messing with me. They're like, oh, I know you thought that. I'm going to show it to you now. So sometimes I wonder if we're really just, I don't know, aliens are using my body for something. I got a big plug on the top of my head.
Hey, they just did, say that UFOs are real, you know?
Well, I mean, maybe they are. Okay, so you had to bring it up. Another story. I'm trying to make them quick. So there was something on Netflix.
Why? We have till 10 o'clock. Go for it.
If my phone dies, though, or if my iPad dies, I'll have to call back from the phone. So, all right. So we are, me and my husband are watching a Netflix show about aliens and UFOs. So we started to watch part of the series, and we didn't finish it all because, you know, we watch 100 different shows at a time. And we went to go back and watch it, and we went to go to the next episode in the order, and the episodes were all messed up. And they weren't in the same order anymore. And I'm like, that's weird. And he's like, well, I think we saw that one. So we clicked on one that didn't sound familiar. Now, the beginning of the TV show was completely different. You know how like they have like the same thing you guys have. It's the same advertisement in the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. It was different. And then everything about the show seemed different, but it was all the same people. So we rewatched a show that we had already watched, and it was played out differently. So how can you, so imagine we're taping this show right now. I wish my husband would tell me what the show was. We're taping the show right now. Someone watched this show. Then they go back and watch it 6 months later. Your beginning credits are different. And what I'm talking about is the same thing, but how we're talking about it is differently. And you and the person you watched it with remember it being different. How did that happen?
I get the idea because I can't think of specific examples, but that my daughter and myself, because I can look back and say, I know I've had that conversation or that argument with somebody going, this was not this way. No, it was not. Like this totally was different. I'm not crazy. And I can, but I can't think of anything.
It was a whole series.
About it, but,
It was incredible. So, I mean, I do feel like our reality shifts constantly. And when we're re-questioning something, it just becomes the new truth, and we're forced to believe that's only how it was. So I mean,
as we descend and grow, things change.
Right. Yeah. If it was on a piece, but the thing is, if I was to write it in a journal, would it be there? Because if it's the new reality, I never would have wrote it in the journal.
But our past shapes us and helps us to grow to become who we are in the moment.
but does it? Do you see what I'm saying? Are we
Okay.
different? Do we quantum leap to different realities constantly? And they do say that there's this thing about quantum leaping. So like, did I leap with somebody into a different reality? In essence, we never die. Everybody else around us will, but we continue to live.
Or if you go back to parallel lives, because a couple of mentors I know had taught me this and had brought this up in one of the courses I took about parallel lives, where sometimes when things are out of whack in this life, in this consciousness that we have right now in the moment, it's because there's something out of whack with another life we're living in the moment as well.
Oh, makes sense. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we may not be doing anything wrong here right now, but maybe we're struggling on some other level. And it's funny because one of the techniques I was taught was to look in the mirror, especially at night or in the dark, and see if your face changes, to just simply stare and to simply take in and let it happen and let it form. And it never used to work for me. And recently I've been doing that. I've been drawn to do that more, and my face is changing. It's really freaky. It's like a whole nother person is coming from the inside out. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I know there's something to it. What?
You want to pull that?
Shut up. No, don't even go there. I was channeling then. It's a whole different ballgame. Hard ass, I swear to God. Yeah, sure, fine. Here, wait. Here, let me do this, right?
Yeah, no, you can't do it.
We were doing an investigation, and I went into the ladies' room to wash my hands, and all of a sudden I felt someone behind me, and she started to channel through me, and I was looking in the mirror, and I was like, Mike, get over here. And he's like, what? And he's looking at me. I'm like, just take a picture, because I just got frozen. Right. And it was just like I was giving myself a dirty look in the miror. It was weird. It's like one of his favorite weird pictures. It's ridiculous. Because he was like, I hate it.
So you weren't giving yourself a dirty look. The spirit was giving you a dirty look. Oh,
that was spirit, awesome. For sure.
And messed up and scary all at the same time.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, no, that was a channeling thing for sure. So yeah.
This is something you guys can try. It's not far away from us, but maybe a little farther from Mike. It's going on Witch's Walk. Have you done that? Yeah,
we were supposed to do that. And
I was gonna say that sounds familiar.
Was Chautauqua Lake that weekend? Something messed up that walk.
Yeah, okay. I had an experience in Witch's Walk, and I think I would only go there during the day. I would never go there ever during the night. But I felt like time went by. It seemed like forever, and by the time we checked the clock, it was only like 5-10 minutes or so. And we walked into the woods and came out with a different time period on the clock. So there was a loss of time. Somehow time existed and then just got skipped. But that place has some interesting energy, and it's not just Bigfoot energy, but I would say that they're probably there. It's everything energy. It's like spirit energy, Native American energy, and probably a bunch of elementals and Bigfoot energy. And I don't like scary paranormal things. My husband kind of tricked me into that and then told me after that it was a haunted place. Bad, he's really bad. But so he didn't tell me, but I would feel that place does not scare me permanently from going there. Just I wouldn't go there at night. So I feel like it's a safe place to feel the energy where you're still, maybe I'm just naive, still protected.
It's still on the line.
I know that feeling.
Hinsdale and Wildwood and right into the park. And yes, there are Bigfoot sightings just south of the New York border down there.
Yeah.
And into the Allegheny. There's a lot of weird stuff down there. That's where the rocks are. Trying to think what the name of the rocks are off the top of my head. And those were the rocks that were in your office. The picture.
In not my office.
No.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, but I didn't take the picture. It wasn't my picture. But it was from Allegheny, I think.
Yeah. If Paul's listening, I hope maybe he can throw something in there.
Yeah, that's an adventure I would take. I'd go back there. I would go back.
I would love to do that. Yeah, I would like to do that. I know what you mean about the whole protecting thing though, you know, because as you start to expand and you start to be pulled in certain directions, and you and I have had lots of conversations about this, you know, and it's like you go in and you're protected because you want to get through it, but you still want to be as open as possible, but you're still protected. And then, you know, you get to that point where you're like, okay, you know what? Got to take these walls down, or I'm never going to grow. Nothing's ever going to happen. If I don't go through some of these things that I don't want to go through, I'm never going to know. And slowly that kind of thing happens, and those things, you know, those kinds of things happen where you can expand. But even sometimes, you know, I would go to a place and be like, okay, guys, that's it. You know, no holds barred, no boundaries. I know you're going to look out for me. Let me do what I got to do, I guess, and just be there to hold my hand. And then sometimes my guides will laugh and be like, yeah, okay, fine, sure. You know, you're not ready, but we'll humor you. And then, you know, there's other times where they're like, okay, hands off, we're good. Go, let's see what you got. And, you know, you have to handle certain things to have the experience to look back on and know, because it's the only way we grow, right? And so it can be scary, you know, and there's certain things you don't tell your mom and your husband, but...
Right.
You know, so, but I think you have a point there. You know, sometimes you can be too protected, and even when you don't want to be, or you think you're ready, sometimes you still kind of are, you know?
Yeah. I don't usually put myself in those situations, but there's times where I feel like I do. I check myself. Is it okay if I go there? Is it not okay if I go there? And if I get the no, okay, I just stay away. But if I get the okay, then I actually feel like comfortable. I'm like, yeah, I know it's okay. I know it's okay to go there. So yeah, for me, it's just that place is magical. I don't know. It's just magical. That's all. It's just magical. I'd love to go check it out
for sure.
So I think it has a good balance of good and, not to say bad necessarily, but it's got to be a portal of somewhere for sure to something. There's no doubt. So
sure. I wouldn't doubt it, especially in nature. Mm-hmm. For sure. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know, they've got the, what do you want to call it? The castle that's right up in the middle there. It's that outlook center. Then people have done some funky things we've seen. What do you want to call it? The lookout tower.
The one of the stone, made out of stone.
One of the stones that we took you before we did the Wildwood investigation.
Yeah, that was not cool. That was, yeah. Oh, yeah. Here, I'm freaking out in the car thinking, okay, it's just a me thing. I'm picking up on something, blah, blah. We get there, and I look at this thing, and I'm not even wanting to get out of the car. I'm, nope, this is evil. Nope, this is negative. Oh, my, I'm seeing pentagrams. I'm seeing what.
Oh, I think I might have seen that. It's in Allegheny, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there going, where the hell? And I could tell. I'm like, Mike, they've done stuff here. You go up on the top, and there it is, right in front of you. I was like, you son of a gun. What the hell? Are you kidding me right now? Like, talk about going on high alert. Oh, yeah. We were probably a mile away before, and I was already picking up on. Wow. I wasn't feeling good. I was sick to my stomach. I was getting angry. I was, oh, yeah.
I wonder if I have a picture of myself by that place. I think I probably do, or my husband would on the phone. I'm trying to think if I picked anything up. I don't know at that point if I was actually even doing anything too much at that point to even pick anything up. I don't even remember.
Yeah. This was just a year ago or something for us, because it was before we did the investigation at Wildwood, the overnight at Wildwood last fall. Not even a year. Wow. So yeah, that was crazy. And then we had a very, very, we had a huge night at Wildwood. So that was pretty cool too. But yeah, it's just.
That's crazy.
You see things like that and you just know, and you can just feel the intensity of the negative energy, and you can just feel you're not wanted there, and you just.
Get out. There's supposed to be a lot of those, like, they're called, it's a Native American thing. Little people in the woods around there. They're like those little,
Pugwaggy.
Yeah. They're supposed to be very much around that area too. So
what is it? I'm not familiar.
They're little people. They're like little people, little people that hide in the woods. Yeah. They're not gnomes or anything. They're like Native American little people.
Really?
Mike got the name right. There's a book around here.
Try not to say it.
Why? Why?
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're not supposed to say it. That's true.
It's one of those things that I was told that you just don't say.
Oh, my husband just wrote. I can spell it. Jungowah. He must be listening. So
Where is he?
I think he's probably watching on YouTube.
Oh.
If you guys read Michael Bastine and Mason Winfield wrote a book, and it's about the folklore and the history in the area, and he talks about that in the book. Those little people, you're going to find them in East Aurora area too sometimes, and they look in the windows of little children sometimes, and that's a bad thing because they can. They're looking to harness the energy of people. So, but they're just little people. They're okay. But they're okay.
Depends on who you talk to.
There's also some gnomes that are out in the area of what's it called? Like Corning area. You can see gnomes out in Corning area, and they like grape jelly. But they hide in the corners of rooms, and they're kind of mischievous. Along with Bigfoots, I have to say now that the energy of gnomes exists. Like they really are. Apparently, gnomes must be real if Bigfoot's real. That's my opinion. That's what I think. So
I think anything's possible. I don't think we're all meant to experience every plane and every level of existence. I think part of it has to do with having faith and knowing that there's something bigger, because we need that as human beings. Our souls need that, I think. And I think whatever journey we're on in this life, I believe it nourishes and the opportunity present themselves as we need them. And it's for us to take or not take on, sometimes, it's not free will can be a bitch, that. So
that's true.
It could be a good or a bad thing. So I think we either do it to ourselves or we don't sometimes. But I think that if we knew everything or experienced everything, we wouldn't really know what faith was. Right. And, just the same as religion and all those, in culture, background and whatever. And I think we need that mystery. We need to know. Why are you always laughing at me?
I'm not laughing.
His face is all red.
I'm reading my job is to read the comments. Kim says, don't tell me that. I live in.
Oh, Kim lives in Corning.
Corning.
Oh, it's in Corning. But the gnomes aren't the little scary Indian guys. The gnomes are just little cute little like garden. Not really gnomes, but they're mischievous. God. Like if they're mischievous, you want to give them like, I don't know, a grape Jolly Rancher candy or something, because they become very mischievous. But they're not bad. They're the ones that'll steal your keys and then put them back and laugh at you. They're not like the little Native American dudes. Those are not good. Those are, but I think they're okay. They just aren't good. Okay. I haven't found a location for fairies. If you're bored though, and you're on YouTube and you like Google videos of fairies, you can go down a rabbit hole with that.
Really? It's funny because I've been feeling drawn to have a fairy garden this year at my house. Oh, I wonder why.
Yeah, they're
I should learn better. I know better than to question. I just need to do. Yeah. I'm just supposed to listen. I know that.
Yeah, there's little people all over. I think Hawaii has a different style of little people too. Yeah. And when really little people, like people we're not going to see. And if you're not looking, you won't even notice it.
But it's a cultural thing. I mean, if you look at, Java and, you have the flourish and stuff like that. I can't talk tonight again. I can't pronounce, but they just found the Hobbit, within the last 10 years, it's their skeletons and stuff like that. Thunder Rocks is the place I was trying to think of. That's a very interesting energy area. Paul's always trying to get me back down there for my team. But we got some great photos, but it's a very interesting, area.
Now, have you guys ever been to Sedona?
I have.
Okay. All right. You've never been? Oh, let's set a trip up as soon as we're allowed to go. We're going to do a retreat there. How's that?
That works for me, man. Get me out of here.
Yeah.
So I've tried to go to explore all the different vortex energies, and I did this again before I was even a Reiki practitioner at that point. So I definitely was tapped into energies, but not with like a Reiki sense. So I can't even imagine what it would be like down there. And my husband's probably upset because I'm going to pick on him one more time. So we went to all these places. We went to like Boynton Canyon or Boyu Canyon, Cathedral Rock, Airport Mesa, and we were super, super close to Bell Rock. And Bell Rock was like my favorite. It had this energy where I could run on the shoulder, and you know how scared I am of anything with a cliff. And I never felt more safe and more free and more floaty. And the energy was so intense. We went there every single day we were there. And so he said, let's sit and let's watch the sunset on Bell Rock. Aww. Like, how romantic, right?
Yeah.
So he's so sweet. So we find this area, and I'm sitting, and we have like, a blanket down, and we're watching the sunset.
Oh, way to go, Rob.
He's so sweet. So the sun, this is our last night there, So the sun is setting on Bell Rock. And all of a sudden, I'm like, we got to go. I don't like this. We got to go. We have to go now. We have to go. And I was like, we got to go. He's like, what? What's wrong? I'm like, no, we need to leave. We need to go. And he's like, what is wrong? I'm like, I don't feel good. I don't feel safe. We need to get off of this absolutely now. And I didn't care if he was packing up whatever. I am just walking down the rock. I'm getting in the car. We have to go. We're driving back to the hotel. And he's like, so you didn't like it? I was like, no, why do you keep asking me? I wasn't happy. I didn't like it. He says, because the rumor is if you are on Bell Rock at nighttime, the energy goes from positive to negative. And I wanted to see if you feel it. Our last
Push him
there,
off. Push him right off. That's it. Forget you, Rob. I'm done.
Are you serious? Like, why am I your guinea pig every single time? That's to his daughter takes her place to see herself pick up.
I have no idea what that's like. Wait a minute. Which way am I pointing? This way. I have no idea what that's like. Right there. Yeah.
So it's
we left it twice in the woods.
Oh.
It's incredible. Like, so I do wonder. I don't think nighttime changes spirit activity, but on that it's a circumstance, I do feel that nighttime the energy switches. So what do you guys think that, do you think that with a ghost, do you think ghosts and spirits are more haunted in the evening? Because I don't, but from that experience, I can tell you on Bell Rock, it gets negative at night. So what do you guys think? Do you think more comes out at nighttime, or are we just more tuned into our senses?
I think that's a big part of it, but I think there is something to it. As a medium myself and doing that kind of work, I do feel like, I think it does have to do with the shift of the moon and the sun and the earth and the way that everything is revolving. It's kind of like, I don't know why I'm bringing up pregnancy again tonight, but like, when they say, but like seriously, like they say, like our bodies shift. A lot of babies are born at night because the chemicals in your body change and things happen. So, I mean, it's a natural thing. So that's the comparison I'm getting. It's the same idea. It might not be like that everywhere, but it definitely plays a part in my opinion. But then again, I think it's just the way that we're raised and that we're conditioned to also just be on higher alert or know.
Right.
There's our senses are heightened when we're in the dark. Our senses are heightened when other senses are dulled. So I think that's just natural for us as humans.
To be, more paranoid at night. We don't see at night.
Yeah.
Things hunt us at night and eat us at night.
That's true.
We don't have
such a guy response.
Walking beings,
I'm never going camping and going to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night ever again. We're getting hunted.
Right. Right.
But, I mean, that's just it. We are that way.
Yeah.
You look at the tides and the moon pole, and depending on where we're at, I mean, that plays a lot. And you look at the documented cases that, emergency rooms and emergency responders are busier on full moons than not. And, but you don't say it's a person, but the numbers are there.
Right.
But the tidal change we know is there. So things act different. Animals act different. We'd rather go out on a night bright moon because we can see what's going on. But, I would say that's why we do our celebrations on those big bright moon days, and not it's dark outside. We can't see. We're going over stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Are you affected by the new moon, Kristie?
I have been affected by every single flippin' moon we have had this past year. It's been horrible. I see all these people going, oh my God, it's so rejuvenating and so re-energizing. And I'm like, oh my God, I want to kill myself. Like, it's horrible. Horrible. And I'm sure my family wants to kill me too. Never until this past year did I have an issue with the moon. On occasion, yes.
Yeah.
But all the time, it's like it's like a double whammy coming at me every single time. I don't sleep, I don't eat, and I already don't sleep. Well, I eat too much, but I already don't sleep enough, and that just makes it worse. So it's like, yeah, it's awful. Emotionally, I'm up and down. It's just, they're not good. I got things going through my head, that I don't even like to be in my head half the time to deal with. I got to deal with more. No, but they really have. They've thrown me for a huge loop this year, and I don't know why. I don't know what the difference is now. Yeah.
The more and more I do spiritual work, the more and more I feel affected by the moon. So if I get dumped off, I can jump back on, right? In case I do.
Yes, as long as you just go into the email. Excuse me.
Okay, because my battery's gonna pop out soon. I sleep upside down in my bed around full moon sometimes. So I can't
hanging from the ceiling.
Think about that.
Yeah, like a bat, sort of. But then,
how does Rob feel about that?
Yeah, I do. I sleep upside down. So I've noticed that if we're not all night long, it's like when the moon comes over the house and then comes towards where my window would be facing into the bedroom, I have to flip upside down. And just recently, I didn't recognize that it was a full moon, and all of a sudden, I kept wondering why I'm only sleeping on one side. I couldn't flip to my other side. I'm a side sleeper. And so I went to get up to go to the bathroom. I came back into bed and I looked at the moonlight from the window and it was on my pillow and I could not sleep in where the ray of the moon was. And that is why I couldn't flip, because if I flipped, my hands and my face would be touching the moonlight. It is such an energy that's so disturbing. It keeps me awake. I'm not feeling like it would harm me. I just can't sleep when the moon is on me.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Isn't that weird?
Very interesting.
Yeah, so not only do I flip now, I can't even realize I can't even be in the light of the moon. So it's like a crystal, like a quartz crystal or something. Like I can't clear myself. And if I do, I'm not sleeping. It's so powerful that it keeps me awake.
So have you watched the grounding video about the guy that put the meters and stuff in his bed and put the tape to check the energy and see how we ground and why? Because we were rubber shoes that we don't ground to the thing. That goes into, my whole end with the martial arts and getting out there and grounding and why I fight with the yoga people. And it's a whole nother show.
That's crazy. Yeah,
so,
the moons are insane. So I'm going to try to switch out. You might see two of me, guys.
Okay. Sharon, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Oh. I'm like, there's another.
I know, but
there's two of me, there's two of Melanie.
I love it. She's on top of things. Excellent. Oh, there she goes. Where is she? Where'd she go? She'll come back. Oh,
I gotta bring.
Sorry,
bring her back in.
Hey, I'm back. Sorry, my iPad is not. So I am technologically challenged today. I had a computer, it was acting up. My iPad wasn't fully charged, but my phone is good. So now, I've used every single resource of technology tonight with you guys. I feel empowered. I
do it all the time. I have a backup machine to my right. I have my phone in the middle.
Behind him and
tablet to my right, down on the floor if I need it.
Yeah,
two sets of headphones, a backup set of whatever. Spare. I just never know.
So, Melanie, I didn't realize. Somebody has a question for you
Okay.
to answer.
I'll put it on.
They were asking. I want to make sure. I didn't know if you wanted to ask questions. I forgot to ask you that tonight.
Yeah,
He asked if you were
down with
taking
whatever.
I thought he meant like about the conversation. Are you up for answering some questions
Yeah.
and connecting with spirit? And okay, guys, so there you go. So if you want, go right ahead.
There's
We've already
our
let them know
first
I'm
one.
tonight. So Anthony, there you go.
Hi, Melanie. Can you tell me if you find someone in my love life soon, and if there's so, when and where should I look?
Okay, I'll read
Blah
them
blah
from
blah
now.
blah blah. You read them from now. Yeah, my
Okay,
mumble.
I can see it. The setup you guys have is phenomenal. Okay, so I guess what's your interpretation of soon? So questions based on love can be very difficult, and soon is very difficult too. So all I can tell you is, for me, I would say that intuitively you would be in quite a settled relationship by the next 2 years. So that's not saying that you aren't going to meet someone in 6 months or so, but I feel like I haven't established one that will be in 2 years or would start within the 2-year mark. Where should you look? So I don't really think you should be looking, because I feel like you're going to meet this person outside. So I don't feel like you're going online or hanging out with Plenty of Fish or anything like that. I feel like I want to tell you, be patient. It's coming. There is some balances about an increase financially with work or studies. Work and studies, I want to say. So I feel like it's happening soon, but you're going to have to give it at least a year. So yeah, that's what I'm getting. It's hard. Love things are. I always find that they're very difficult, but this is not. I think it was an Anthony that asked the question, correct?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So Anthony, this part isn't for you, but it's a good thing to listen to. This is a thing I've learned from experience when I read people. Oftentimes when somebody's going to get a relationship, if there is something for them, and this doesn't go for everybody, but if there's a point they have to be to in their career or their studies, that if they meet that person sooner, it will change their flow of what they need to accomplish. They're never going to meet that person. Spirit will keep that person away from you until you do what is required of you before they bring that person in. So if I met like the love of my life, my husband, any sooner, I would not have accomplished or experienced certain aspects in my life at this time. So I had to wait until I was 34. There was just nothing I could do about it. Had I accomplished what I needed to accomplish sooner, most likely they would have come in sooner. So I feel like if you want to love and you want a relationship, then focus on what you think in your heart you need to accomplish before that. The faster you do that, the faster it comes in.
Can I have you make a sign? I just want to put that down in the corner. That because when we get multiples, it's like, if it's time, it's time.
Yeah, you can't rush that. I mean, it really isn't a rush thing, and it's not like you can speed it up. But truthfully, I feel like check where you are in your life. And when if you say to me that I have my job, I have my career, I have my finances, and I have accomplished everything, and there's no relationship yet, then I'd be shocked, because it doesn't usually happen that way. I'd be shocked. And sometimes people meet people sooner, but that's the way that their life was supposed to go. So 2 years isn't bad. When I get 5 or 6 years for people, I'm like, oh, I don't want to tell you.
I don't want to tell you. Like, really? Then you feel like garbage, and
go to the Bahamas.
So, being single isn't a bad thing. Enjoy life and the beauty. And I think that it's exciting to have those fun relationships when you're younger, and then you're going to be ready to just really settle down and commit to one person for the rest of your life. So don't race it.
Yeah.
There was a quick question from Sharon. Can you please explain how Reiki works?
All right.
She's here. I got to try to pronounce it right.
That's right. Ray,
they can say that correctly.
Yeah, Ray, like the
I've been practicing all day.
Key, like opening a door. Reiki. So Reiki, really, how does it work? Well, there's energy within all of us. We're made of energy, and And a really morbid and beautiful thing is we have carbons and oxygens and all these different elements within our body, right? And when we die, they don't go anywhere. Energy doesn't get depleted. It just gets refabricated into the trees or into another human being, into the soil, and then back up again in the fruit that we eat that goes into our bodies and gets digested. So energy moves, and there is untapped potential of energy. So the computer that you're on, the phone that you're on, the table that you're on, the chair next to you, it's all being held together by energetic particles being held together. So first of all, energy exists. Now, second is, how am I talking on the phone with you guys right now? There's frequencies, 100 different frequencies going all over that we cannot see. Like an x-ray, when you get your teeth x-rayed at the dentist, there is radiation that's going through, but you don't see the radiation. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So what they found is we have the ability as humans to manipulate energy and bring energy through us and then give it out. So with Reiki, you're not using your own energy. You're actually channeling the untapped energy of the universe, manipulating it and sending it through. So we're acting like currents. So if there was a frequency of energy that we wanted to grab at that was being untapped, we would pull that at us. We would flow it through our meridian energy centers and circuits and then deposit it to the person that we're sending Reiki at. So it's, you think it seems so magical, but technically it's not. It's actually very logical. And there's another thing called healing touch, which is similar to Reiki. And this is an Eastern energy medicine is Reiki, and healing touch is a Western energy medicine. And locally to the Buffalo area, Roswell, which is a cancer treatment hospital, they have the healing touch there and Reiki. And they're piloting a study where they're taking down, Mike would like this, documentation and scientific information on the effects that people are having from these experiences. And what they recognize is they don't understand yet how. They don't understand the science and how it's happening, but they have the proof that it is positively affecting people's outcome, and it's reducing the side effects of chemo on people. And the soul gets pulled. So it's not magic. It's science that we just don't have the ability to understand. You really need a good scientist or a quantum physics person, but there's been experiments where they shoot electrons against a wall. And if a camera is watching the electrons, they form a particular pattern. And if the camera doesn't watch the electrons act differently. So when we're watching something, we shift. When something is being watched, the energy itself shifts. And they know that. So I'm wondering, when we go to pull the Reiki energy in, are we manipulating that energy and shifting it to people? So I don't know if that's a long explanation or not, but
Tai Chi tonight. I like this. Just push out.
Oh, I talk with my hands, and I am not Italian.
But it was the energy push. You know?
That's awesome. Hey, we do things naturally for a reason.
Yeah.
She's going
and that's just it. That's why playing with a biofield imager, I want to get my hands on one. I have two friends that have them, and when they do clinical work and do their energy healing, they got the cameras right up, and they've got amazing pictures with me that I can't share because of clinical setting.
Right.
But I've got some floating around. If I get Brian or Shannon on, we'll try to share. I can share with healers and.
There's a fantastic guy named, it's called, the TV show is called The Healer. I wish I could tell you his name, but he's from Australia, and I think it's on Netflix, and you can watch it. It's called The Healer, and it's not Reiki that he does, but there's been studies where he has really phenomenally changed people in an almost instant setting. So there's been videos where they taped him. He would work on the body, and the person was having difficulty walking, and they couldn't walk, and he was basically, what it is like Reiki, but it's not. He was sending energy at the people, and then they could get up, and then they could walk.
Is it the Chi guy?
I don't know. He's
from Taiwan or something.
He's from Australia. He's called the Healer.
That'll be Mike's assignment to look up tonight.
It is. He is
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
phenomenal, and whatever he's doing is really close to what would be understood as Reiki, but he's not Reiki. He's not Reiki at all, and he doesn't charge anything. So he does all these little healing things, and yeah, I don't know. He's just
like
he's fantastic.
Mr. Miyagi back in the day.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
Honestly.
Really, I mean, that's how I explain it to everybody. It's like, you ever see Miyagi in the Karate Kid? He was doing it before we even knew what was going on.
Not the new Karate Kid. Karate Kid. For all you people out there who don't know.
Sharon had another question. And folks, again, Melanie's with us tonight, if you could share, like, and pass this along, maybe start a watch party later.
What are those watch parties about? I've never.
It's like a rebroadcast of our show where they can comment amongst their group. I don't see the comments here, but they see them amongst theirs. So Sharon had another question, and I find this interesting because she talks about red-tailed hawks. So can you please tell me anything that will happen with my father, James? Also, is there significance to red-tailed hawks? To me, there is. I can never get a picture of them. I carry a camera in the car within arm reach, and I can never. I'm driving, the weather switches up, somebody cuts in front of me. So, red-tailed hawks are always interesting. But I'll turn it right over to you, ladies.
Okay, you can go first, but I do have a question about. So before Kristie, you go first, and then I'll go second. But
this is all you tonight.
Oh, it's just me.
It's all you tonight.
Was James called Jimmy by somebody?
James.
Yeah. Oh, she said, "Well, please tell me if anything will happen with my father, James, and is there significance to red-tailed hawk?" So I just wonder if somebody would have called him, like, who would have called him Jimmy, or who calls him Jimmy right now? Like, who? Okay, so I have somebody that it's not your father that I have in spirit, but it's a gentleman who I feel like is in spirit maybe 6 or 7 years to his elder. And I feel like he's calling him like Jimmy. And I would feel that this person that passed would have had some real problems with the heart and the lung area. He was sick a bit before he died. He would have been a smoker. I feel like he had, I want to say he was the life of the party. He had a good demeanor. Okay. So there's a person coming in that's calling him Jimmy. So if his mom called him Jimmy, this other person would have called him Jimmy. And I feel like he would have had a heart attack. The guy that passed. Anyways. So he's coming in. So is there a connection to? So I don't really get anything happening to your father necessarily. So I can't answer that. I can just tell you that there's a gentleman in spirit that's around him a lot. Red-tailed hawks. I feel like I want to pick up to say is that would probably be some sort of a symbolism of a spirit guide coming at you. And I would feel like it would have an energy of maybe a protector. Could it be somebody, a loved one that had crossed that's showing hawks? Yes, but at the same time, I get a strong protector element. So whenever you're seeing red-tailed hawks, or any kind of, that would be about protection. Hands down, it's about protection. So that's why. All right. So William is his brother. Oh, Charlie. That's it. Charlie Goldsmith on TLC. Yes, he's the bomb. And then maybe it is William that had passed on. That's in. So his brother would be around him in spirit. Charlie Goldsmith. I think he's fantastic. I don't idolize the guy or anything, but I just know that the way he explains the way energy works, that he's the real deal. So, yeah. So also real quick with William, or the gentleman that comes in, which is, I guess we're just going to call him William now, because that's probably who it is. But he talks about something that would have either been, I actually feel like it was a piece of jewelry that William would have had, a man's jewelry, either dog tags or some sort of thing that would have been very significant that he would have worn around his neck that was passed on to a family member. And he also shows me a lot of mailings, like envelopes that would still have the stamps on, and like letters that were sent and addressed somewhere that somebody would have kept too. I do have to tell you that William gentleman does come in from spirit saying that he's very happy, that he's at peace right now, and that he doesn't want to surprise you with him coming in, but he does say that to tell you that everything is going to be fine. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, anyways.
Thank you.
Next.
All right, we'll get you one more in there, and we'll delve into your next adventures.
My husband.
This is from Millie. My husband, Jorge, was a horrible accident last June. His arms and face were burnt, but his face was burnt beyond recognition. Now he looks like great, just like he did before, but he doesn't know how he got out of his truck. Can you tell me how, please?
Oh, that's yeah, I almost feel like he was moved, honestly. And I feel like he was moved. He was moved. Moved maybe more by spirits, so to speak. But I don't feel like he was like lifted and floated out of his car, so to speak, but almost like taken and then put back and moved. So this is, I don't know if Kristie's going to buy into my theory, but I've had a few experiences myself, but there's like these exit points that we have in our life where we can choose to call it a day to our life or continue on. And they happen so fast that we don't know that they happened if you aren't paying attention. So I'm almost wondering if he went soul-wise and then they said, no, he wanted to choose to come back. But if he was in the vehicle, then he wouldn't have the opportunity to come back. So they had to move him outside of the vehicle. We all do. We all leap. We all have a chance. We have chances that we're going to go and then chances that we get to stay. So honestly, I feel like everybody's experienced it. So that I feel like is what happened. Yeah, he would never remember because he wasn't in the earthly spirit when he got moved. It's like he was upstairs and then they moved him. Does this make sense to you, Kristie?
Yeah, I can definitely go along with that for sure. Yes, absolutely. Because I also believe that our spirit guides and the divine can step in if somebody is really bad, if somebody's not living a good life, if they're hurtful or hateful towards others, if they just refuse to do what they need to do. I feel like they can decide that it's time to go. I think divine intervention does take place on that level. I don't think it's all the time, but I do think that things like that happen and that we do have, like you said, exit points and entrance. We can choose to stay or go. And then I think there are some of us who know what our soul's, path is and know that our souls, no matter how ascended we become, have a job to do. And so we choose to come back over and over again to do the best we can to help mankind as well.
I know it just came up that that she had said that they say that there's no way he could have made it out of the car alive. There's no way he could have made it alive. That's probably because in essence he didn't. He leaped. They moved him. That's why he's alive. So the new lease on life. But it's not like he got a magic gift. He probably had a decision and a say on it. So he wanted to be here, and that's pretty fantastic. Yeah. You can't even tell he was burned on the face. Wow, right? Wow. Mm-hmm. So
that's amazing.
That is amazing. Again, that tells you there was divine intervention. No doubt.
Oh, yeah,
no doubt.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Sharon had a couple of follow-ups here. It was grandfather. William was in Korea.
Okay.
Cool.
And that my dad has all love letters from his father to his mother before they were married.
Yeah, I must have been seeing that. See, that's really romantic and pretty. That's pretty incredible. Aw. We don't get those anymore. We get love texts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Right.
Or love dishes, love laundry.
I mean, that's no worse than a Dear John letter. So, I mean, text letter, I guess it's all, weighed up.
I know. I miss the days where we were in high school. We could fold up those letters in little triangles and pass them off to our friends.
Yes. And tuck it and fold it.
Oh,
did that
so
right,
good at that. Yeah.
It was a girl thing.
All right. So Kelly had a question. Sometimes I wake up and feel a presence in the sea of shadows. This scares me. How can I know if these are good spirits?
Oh boy, I don't even know if I can answer this one, but I will attempt. Let me see if I can read into it. Or, for me, if that was me, I'd go by the vibration that I feel. You don't try to project fear. Is it good? Is it bad? Because I think loved ones do step in. But if there's that energetic fear presence, then I would say that maybe not so good. So there's things that you can do to keep that away. So if there's any, I always say if there's like a Christian belief system, or if you were had Catholicism in you, right? You could do the Our Father 3 times until you can say it clear. So if you say the Our Father and you start to trip up, then you want to start over again. You want to say it 3 times clear, and do it every night, because that's going to really just bring God and protection around you. So nothing is going to be able to be in your space. You kind of have to find where your faith lies. If you believe in crystals, then use crystals. If you believe in sage, then use sage. You've got to believe in whatever you use as a sense of protection. And you have the power over anything scary. So you can tell them that they're just not allowed in your space. But if you do not verbally or mentally send that out there, then they're not being told to stay away. So there's no reason they're going to stay away. And if it's loved ones, I think you can tell loved ones to stay away, but they don't listen anyways. So I would say, do something to put protection in your space. Because if it's a loved one, it's coming from love. So of course they can come at you, whether you want it or not. Yeah, I would just put some protective elements. Is there anything you do in your space, Kristie, to keep yourself protected?
I do have a lot of stones. Yeah. I do. But, you and I both know that it all comes down to your intention and your belief. So especially when I teach people, it's say it out loud. It's like cash and credit. You can spend all day long with the plastic because it's not real. The balance you're accruing and the debt you're accruing is not going to be real until you have to pay it out. But with cash, once you hand it out, it's gone. It doesn't come back. It makes it real. It's in your face. And when you say something out loud, it makes it real. It's in your face. You have to accept it, which is exactly why a lot of people don't say things out loud or do something. It's really easy to say in your head, go away. But you're also going, oh, I hope they listen. I hope they listen. No, you have to be you have to know what you're doing. You have to be solid in what you're saying and how you're handling it. So I think that's really the key. But yeah, no, I agree. Because sometimes too, you can be picking up on the energy of a spirit and they're not intentionally trying to hurt or scare or bother you too. So that's another whole ball of wax to get into later too, so it's not always that they're trying to hurt you or intimidate you or scare you. So keep that in mind too. Yeah.
Yeah. Spirits don't respect social distancing. If you find if you're at Tops and this random spirit's walking around and finds you interesting, it just might come home with you, and tag on for a little bit. So we just assume spirits are only in houses. I mean, honest to gosh, you think that they're all quarantined? No, they're all over the place.
They're still looking for dates. So Anthony, maybe you're looking for that spirit date for the time being. And
oh, that's right.
Oh my God.
That's another Melanie and another show.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't think you are Naked and Afraid.
No.
Refer to episode 4.
That's awesome.
So I want to give you a little time. We can go back if there's other questions, but I do want to give you a little bit of time though to talk about your new ventures and the new big things that are happening, because I know you're really excited and they mean a lot and they're so important and you're reaching so many people. So why don't you tell us about the retreats and, everything that's going into those and why you're doing them and what they are.
Yeah. Okay.
So you totally missed out on that. Must have
So, initially what got me to start doing retreats was they weren't offered. They really weren't, at least not in the area, in the Western New York area. Sometimes I tend to think, what am I not receiving that I want, or what is there a need for? And I remember when I was actually part of a retreat team. I was raised Catholic, and they had this confirmation thing you had to go through. And doing these retreats really gave me such a sense of security, and I loved it. So from that experience, I was like, why don't we have spiritual retreats? As a psychic medium for the past 6 or 7 years, I've realized that when people come to see me, it's actually hard for me to read somebody that's extremely balanced. So sometimes when people come and see me, I don't get that much information from them or for them. I say, it's because your life is good. There's going to be no surprises. You don't really have a lot of variance going on in your life. So I might pick up loved ones, but as far as psychic information, it tends to be minimal. So I've learned that if you can balance that mind, that body, and that soul and bring harmony to that part of your life, that everything else falls into place. And you don't have to, send in messages like, when am I going to find my love, or what's going wrong in my life, or when am I going to have this? Because you already know that you've set the stage for those things. So people can save coming to see psychic mediums by starting to put that mind, body, and soul into health. So I decided I want to create retreats based on that premise of Kokoro. And it has been like a journey of learning. A lot of research goes into these retreats, and the outcome is fantastic because it gives us a time to stop what's going on in this world, get away from work, get together with like-minded people, and explore and get to the truth of really where we are in ourselves. And you might not be honest outwardly with everybody in the group, but you will check yourself and be like, I should probably spend more time working on my mental state of mind, or bringing the connection to my physical health with my body and aligning all those principles, and then going back into the world and planting that mustard seed for people. And then the retreats for Reiki, of course, any kind of a healing retreat is amazing. It's about that self-care that we don't offer. So my intention, and I'm so passionate, is really to take it outside of New York State. I had plans to go down to the Outer Banks this spring, but something told me not to set the retreat up. And well, now we know why. So that's going to probably come up. I would love to be able to take spiritual journeys and take people to Sedona to experience it. I think of, the 60s and the 70-year-olds that get on the bus and they all go places, and they're old, and they go, maybe to the casinos, or they go up to Toronto, or they do these group trips when you're retired. And why wait till you're retired to experience the world and work on yourself? It's too late when you're 60. Not that it's too late, but why wait and miss out on 30 years of life? So the retreats are about bringing yourself back to center. I'm obsessed. I want to do them all the time. I'm so passionate. And now that I do it, I do see that there's a lot of them out there. You just have to look. So they do exist now. There just wasn't any in the area. So that's my main thing. I have started to do I've been planning to do this for a couple of years now. And with all this quarantine, it's really given me the opportunity to put some work into things I've wanted to accomplish. I kept saying, I see too many clients in my office. I'm too busy. I don't have the downtime to do the computer work. So I did create a Patreon called The Psychic Truth, where I do talk about situations like how the full moon affects me and my psychic opinion on how psychic energy works. So I do have a Patreon account now that I've been posting stuff about that. So that's kind of my my side project that I really enjoy. But Reiki and mind, body, and soul balance is the direction for my future, because if you can balance that out, you almost remove the need for that psychic element. Not to say that we'll never have a job, but you just might not need us as much anymore.
Well, the more people and the more in tune people become with themselves, I mean,
people beat themselves up and they don't need to, we're so hard on ourselves.
We really are. Yep. And I truly believe we all have it in us. It's just up to us how. I do believe on some level that, some people are meant to go as deep or open up as much to become mediums, but I truly believe everybody has the capability of at least being in tune with their psychic ability, with their intuition. Mediumship, I feel like is a little different, but that's all I have on that. I don't think everyone's meant to do that. No. But the idea that that's part of us as being human, that's a big deal. And I think especially now more than ever, people are really, really understanding because they're allowed, and we feel like, especially society says we're allowed to look into these other things, about ourselves on this human level and the spiritual level. And, we're not quashing so much down like we used to. So I think that makes a big difference for people.
So what we had planned this April that got rescheduled to September was a pretty interesting concept it was one of I call them the Kokoro retreats.
Get an email. What?
I know. Well, it's September 12th now. You're welcome. You're invited if things are on the go.
Yep.
But anybody.
Thought it was on the mailing list.
But we had it set up.
I was.
Yeah, she was going to be doing a gallery reading, and at this point still is, hopefully.
Yes.
But it was the concept of working with the mind, the body, and the soul. And I did it really from a soul level this time. And I was looking at, I'd have people give me their birth dates to the moment that they were born, and look at the astrology chart, look at the numerology that would be connected to it, like a life path number, your personal year number, certain aspects in your astrology chart that would help identify why you're here, like where I talked about that Anthony person looking for love, like what do you need to accomplish, and what order is it really destined to show up for you? And look at the importance. Astrology is so important, and through my experience, like, it is unbelievably accurate, probably more accurate than a psychic medium. It's just it's so involved to learn it, to be able to interpret it, that it would take so much years experience. It's just easier to read somebody than psychically read a chart, And then once you learn the astrology component, the numerology, the soul's number, the path, and you check yourself, then Kristie was going to come in and she was going to prove the validity that we have a soul and that we cross to the other side and that spirits are real. Because why do soul work if you can't prove that there's a soul? Right. So she was going to really just take it and just tie it all together. It still can be done. It's going to be reworked a little bit because we're going to be more towards the end of the year. So I'm going to kind of look into what's coming up the year 2020, which is astrology wise. You guys got to get an astrologer on here. It's going to be amazing. Fun. I mean,
very interesting.
We're in the age of Aquarius. This is about righting the wrongs and civil, social injustices and all of that. And right now, we were in the Aquarian time. Now we're coming back to Capricorn, and we're going back to Aquarian times. And come this January, wow, the world is going to look a lot different. And I'm going to tell you, things that people were trying to hide, secrets that were being kept, are going to get exposed from January and 3 years after. So everybody's looking for those truths, whether they're what they thought they were or not. It's all coming out. There's nothing hidden anymore. I'm really praying I get to see it all happen, but it's probably not going to be pretty the whole time. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Probably not.
All right.
January's a good month, though.
Willpower change.
Your face alone says it all.
Yeah. Yeah. But what it's going to bring us to, I think of it as the tarot card, the tower. The foundation is not solid. We're going to knock it down and we're going to build it up, and it is going to be phenomenal. So, and our kids are going to be better for it.
I agree.
So, yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. It's amazing. I never knew much about astrology and numerology. My mom actually took a couple of courses or looked into it and did something with it years ago. Because I know she's done the charts just for fun over the years. I don't think she's done it in a long time, but it was really, really very cool. It was very neat, but it was just never something I was drawn to do or pulled to do. But yeah, that's really cool.
I think I was interested in it when I was younger. And what happened was I got a little bit interested in it a few years ago. And I would read somebody and I'd be like, let me go home and look at your chart. And so they give me the info and I'd look at it and I'd be like, oh, I said that. Oh, I told them that was going to happen. And I'd be like, it's in their chart. When I had just told them during the reading, and I was like, I could have just read the chart. So, and I think as a medium, if you were to just look at a chart, even though you were psychic, you wouldn't know anything about an astrology chart, Kristie. It's kind of like a tarot card. You would look at it and be like, that planet here is what I'm talking about. That's going to happen. You might not know anything about Saturn or the 12th house, but you're going to know that when that happens, it's going to happen then, and that's it. And it just starts coming out of your mouth. And you're like, I don't even know astrology. So
not like IKEA directions.
It's intuitive. I think psychics can intuitively read it, because literally that is your birth map of your entire life. It's the entire timeline printed right in front of you. It's crazy.
With or without free will built into it.
I think that we have less free will than people want to. I feel like free will is 25% and 75% is fate. I don't buy into too much free will. I mean, sometimes I'll read and I'll be like, look at, this has a chance to potentially be different. And there is times I look at something and there's just nothing you can do about it.
Right.
Sorry, it's gonna happen.
I feel like it happens more with matters of the heart. Yeah. When it comes to love, and especially things that people do for themselves, not necessarily the stuff that they do or that happens outwardly, we'll say. Because, we can choose to ignore and deny or accept and embrace certain things. It's easier to manipulate that and have a say in that, or deny it or accept it, rather than with other outside influences. You have to kind of, I agree.
Like those small little things. I think of it like a timeline. Imagine there's like 12 big dots, and we have to hit those dots, and we can veer off until we get to that next point. We can do whatever we want. And in those moments, that's when we have that free will. But no matter what, we're going to come right back to that center spot, and we have to hit those targets, and we're going to. And usually they hit when they're supposed to. Like right on the day that, if you were to do astrology, it would say it was going to happen. It's just it's unavoidable.
Yeah.
So, oh wow.
Very interesting.
I know.
Very interesting.
I know.
I don't want to look at mine.
I like free will.
I can't wait to hear mine. I can't.
I think I have your information too.
Wow, that's so
you
cool.
gave me your birth date and time. I got it somewhere. So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But you have to have the time, though, right?
Yeah. See, this is the thing. I mean, there is some basic grasping. You can do certain things you can read without the time, but they're big things. What happens is that to that minute changes what would be like your ascendant in the chart or something of the sort, or the house that the planets line up in. So you need it to the minute. And even if the person rounded up at the hospital, it can shift things. So you really want to get it to as close to the minute of your birth. And then you can know every single thing. Honestly, people can figure out when people are going to die. It's unethical, but it's there. It is there. And so are your exit points. It really is incredible.
But that's goes right along with our energy. And if we look at some of the Chinese arts called the dim monk, which was a killing art, and it was using astrology and astrology. I don't know what astrology is.
Astrology. It sounds.
You need to stop spiking whatever it is you're drinking.
I am drinking Pepsi. Yeah, I should not.
I got orange tea.
Rough couple of days. Sleeping is not working this week.
Vanilla honey tea. Yeah. You get water from now on.
Same thing happened with Teddy's show the other night.
I didn't know this was wine time. I got some wine over here. I could have cracked it open.
That's for the after party.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So where do you want to go next? Besides your events, what healing modality or next energy thing?
For me, if it was my free will, and because I don't think any of what I'm doing right now is like my choice. Sometimes I love it, but I think I want to be able to spend time. Honestly, if I had time, it would be astrology. And then as far as Reiki and energy work, there's this book I picked up when I was in the Outer Banks randomly in like a store that had seashells. Like it didn't even belong in this shop. It was called Energy Matrix Energetics. And it is about, when I finally read, I always pick a book up like 3 years before I'm supposed to even touch it, about reprogramming energetically. So like with Reiki, in realigning your DNA to bring it back to health. So if I ever have the time to read that book, yeah. So
I can see that.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'll get there, but in time, I always get the book and it sits, and then I pick it up when I need to. So
absolutely, that's me too. I have books that I haven't touched yet that are sitting here in a pile. Yeah, absolutely.
I've got a whole thumb drive of stuff that the guy that did my master and stuff like that, I need to take a look at. It's just crazy because it's a lot of energy with sound and the waves, all the hemisync stuff. And that's my next move is try to get down to that Monroe Institute because crazy stuff.
So
Joe
I
asked about self-healing. Yes, you can self-heal with.
Oh yes, that's why a lot of people do it. Hi, Joe. Yes,
this
Joe
came
is on
from my
here.
house, and I brought it in just yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The healing power of sound. It says recovering from life-threatening illnesses using sound, voice, and music. I did get myself some sound bowls that I've been working on, a crystal sound bowls. But sometimes it's tough on my hearing, my vibrations.
Those are hard on me.
Yeah, they're fantastic, and I know it, but it's definitely something I am working with that I wanted to incorporate in the retreat. Just have to do it the right way because some people can handle it. Some people have post-traumatic stress, can't handle the bowls. It ignites something within them too. So
really,
but
yeah, there's certain bowls I can't be around.
Yeah,
Joe can attest. I don't do so great with bowls. I got some really great ones from his shop, and
it's
certain
can
ones
be
that
tough.
I can't be around.
But yeah, Joe, that's one of the reasons. When I took my classes with Melanie for the Reiki, I was the only medium there. I was the only psychic there. Nobody else. They were in healthcare. I think we had somebody who owned a salon spa who was looking to expand and add Reiki, and she wanted to know how to do it. There were people who just wanted to do it for themselves and their family and friends, and that's why a lot of people do it, just so they can self-heal and help the people that they care about. And a lot of people do it and never promote it. They just use it, which is pretty cool. But yeah, that's a nice thing. I always tell my clients, when we do Reiki, it's like we're detoxing you from the inside out.
Yes, we are.
We're taking all that stuff. And it's funny because, there are so many things that are not a part of Reiki, like you mentioned earlier, where, we can be called to just do and practice different ways of healing. And, when I do Reiki, sometimes I am called, and it's not all the time and it's not with everybody, but if the right side says, you're going to create this energy ball and pull this stuff out of this person, you do it. And it's the coolest thing. Sometimes people can feel when I do it. Sometimes they can't. Sometimes they just know I did something, but they don't know what I did. It's really neat because Reiki is, like I always tell them, with Reiki, I'm not like the John Coffey from the Green Mile. We're not taking things on. We're just, like you said, the conduit. It's flowing through us. We're giving it to you. But taking it on by pulling it out is a different story. We have to cleanse ourselves afterwards. We have to make sure it's like gone, But yeah, it's really, that's how I always see it, is we're detoxing people from the inside out.
When I did my level 1 and level 2, they were mostly clinicians. And we actually had quite a few research scientists in the class from the medical field going back to see what they could learn. And like I said, we integrated a lot of the sound, that bilateral beats. If you can take a look, and we'll see if we can get Brian one of these days, because they've done it with cancer patients, doing the energy healing, adding the music, and they've got documented cases of blood levels changing and stuff like that. And that's why we're doing it. I mean, it's what we can. I mean, I use it a lot with my martial arts explanation, how that energy moves. Like, I started training with you guys at the same time I started looking into Tai Chi, even though I've been teaching martial arts for 30 years. No, not quite 30 years yet. But you know,
How old are you?
Yeah, a little short. But where that energy moves in those balls, it's there. It's just we've in the West have just missed everything, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true.
I read that one wrong. Amazing. So
we are. Oh, I saw how you read that. Yeah, that's good. That's great. So,
coming from him, that's why I read it wrong.
I know. You can hear Joe laughing as we speak.
Yeah.
Oh my God. He's older than 30. He's older than me. That's all that matters. And Mel and I are the same age. So you know what?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You know, we're all connected. Like our whole body is. So again, where our mind and our body and our soul is connected, bringing up Kokoro or that emergence theory, where when all of these parts get put together, we work as one. They say that Alzheimer's patients, when they hear music, they start to remember things and it starts to trigger different things in the brain that actually brings their body back to health. You know, babies, when you're putting music on their belly, in your belly when you're pregnant, they'll respond differently. So I think we forget how important sound is and how it does affect us. And something about bells, I think, came up a second ago, right?
Yeah. We're going to put that response up there a lot longer than 2 seconds.
Lots of bells. So, I mean, big bells, small bells, all kinds of bells or bowls or balls, like crystal ones. They're all important. So, but that's awesome. That's awesome.
It does. You know, for us, is where's my sage? We talk about food connection, but that music, that sound, you walk in, you listen to things, you know, why people train certain things with certain music, the memorization and that it's there. I mean, the healing is there with the sound. I mean, the government used it. We talked about remote viewing earlier. You use that bilateral thing to put your brain in another parallel. And it helps to do that remote view and, you know, the visual and put yourself right there.
Yeah. Doesn't the military use a sound frequency to affect us in a negative state to try to gain power over us?
Probably.
Do you know what I'm talking about, Mike?
Well, there's technology that's out there that's been weaponized that's sound.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, and it's in, you know, that goes to the whole thing where you wanted to talk about, does Bigfoot vanish? Well, if it vibrates and uses infrasound, it could. But we've been on investigations where I actually carry a sound meter. And as folks are saying, we're getting EVPs or something like that, I've got the little sound monitor going. And it's like, okay, we've got infrasound going. Or there's folks that have felt bad because their water pump's going bad and it's putting a beat out. It's an infrasonic beat. It's below our 20 hertz and it actually caused a lot of interesting info. So Jen says, you know, use it for psychological warfare.
Yeah.
And that's how we got Niagara out of the monastery. That was some good old Twisted Sister, if I remember. Which is calming music for me.
I don't know. Yeah, I can't. I can't listen to any kind of like screaming or raging music. I've got to have I think when I was younger though, I loved Ani DeFranco back in the day, and she was like, I think she was an angry younger woman screaming about stuff in her music, but it was like awesome. So I felt like it always like took what I was feeling inside and brought it out at times. But now it's like spa music. I know that's ridiculous, but I like anything peaceful, anything calming, like classical pop radio. I know that's ridiculous, but that's good stuff. That's good.
I gotta try to sign out of.
You're okay. It's just 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Is it 10 o'clock?
Teddy's trying to come in.
Yes. Time flies, huh?
No. Oh, wow.
So thank you all for tuning in from, if you were tuning in from WLFEDB Radio, we really appreciate it. And we're looking forward to many more shows and many more evenings with you. If you want, jump onto YouTube, jump onto one of our pages on Facebook, Where's My Sage? And we will definitely.
I already kind of got rid of them.
He's caught me
And
off twice
iTunes,
today already.
too.
It's 10 o'clock. We're still here with our channels.
We are? We're here still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had to delete the WLFE. So sorry,
What?
Teddy.
What? The what?
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah.
WLFEDBradio.com
Wow.
on Facebook and on the web and Spreaker. Oh, we're still here, guys. I just had to tune out of one Facebook page. We're still live on Tactical Bigfoot Research, Kristie London, Where's My Sage Facebook, and Where's My Sage on YouTube. Ooh, sorry.
Wow.
So share, like, and send us a like.
It's past my bedtime. Where's my sage?
I
It's
know,
like, where's
right?
my bed? 10 p.m.
Sorry. Milk and cookies. I forgot them.
Awesome.
Yes, we're definitely looking forward to your next retreat.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. So if people want to find you for Reiki, if they want to find you for classes, if they want to find you anywhere for anything, how can they reach you?
So they can just go to MelanieRimkus.com. Just myname.com. We'll get you there. That's it. Yeah, it's got
Are you
everything.
typing it or am I typing it?
Everything's
You're
on
typing
the
it.
website.
That's what I got you for. Remember? No,
Yeah.
I'm teasing. No,
That links to my event, my online calendars, all that kind of stuff. So I guess that's the best housing home for all my info.
That's great. It's
Yeah.
been so nice having you on here.
Thank
oh my
you.
gosh. We could
Thank
talk
you.
forever about so many
I
different
know.
things.
I should probably go home at one point. I'm hanging at my office. They're going to start.
I was
charging me
going to say,
overnight
it
fees.
looks like your office. It
It
doesn't
is
look
my
like your
office.
house. Okay.
No, there's nobody here. So I'm socially isolated. So it's
I know it's
quiet.
hard to do some of these things from home sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, there's no way. You would have had 2 dogs and a kid, and who the heck knows? Some chickens outside, maybe a Bigfoot in the window. It could have been anything.
Hey, you never know. We got to get you out in the wood.
Right.
Yeah.
Great.
But yeah, I'll probably let you guys go and
Yeah.
answer all those other questions. I want to thank you so much. I have enjoyed myself unbelievably. So thank you
Thank you
guys
so much. We love you.
Thank you
This is
so much.
great.
With Where Is Your Sage? I love it.
Oh, thank you so much. Good luck with everything. We'll be talking soon.
We'll get you out in the woods soon.
All right,
Oh,
I'll be there.
sure.
We'll tape it. It'll be
Excellent.
fun. Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye, Melanie. Have a good night.
You too.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, sorry about that. I just all of a sudden looked, it
Amazing.
was 10 o'clock, and I know Teddy moved to being on at 10 now instead of 11. It's kind of nice having that little gap.
I know. But she's amazing, isn't she, you guys?
Yes.
We could just talk about things forever. She's so open-minded, and she's just in the 6 or 7 years I've known her now. It's amazing to me to look back and see where I started with her and how I met her and what she was doing and how she has come and grown in so many different ways. And just, when you meet somebody and you just click with them and you just know that they're your person or you're one of your people and you just get along. That was her from the second I met her, and vice versa. We even have the same dental background, and we have so much in common, and just we think the same way, and it's just amazing. And she's done so many different things. We didn't even scratch the surface. When I first met her, she was working with auras and chakras. And she was doing that. I even had her come to a group that I used to have a few years ago and talk to the group about auras and chakras and different things like that. So, she's really very knowledgeable, and she's just a great person. She's just open to everybody and anybody. And so it's amazing. Yeah. She has a great heart.
She just does great program. And, like I said, I've seen her talk about her experience, and it affects her every time she talks about it.
Oh yeah, she just lights right up. I love it. She's so enthusiastic.
We'll
That's great.
few minutes here. We've got a couple of good upcoming shows coming. We got a reading next week.
So next week
Yes.
we're doing a reading show. Yes, I will be
Yep.
answering questions. We'll be connecting with spirits. So yep, spread the word, pass it along. Yeah, it'll be all about the Q&A again, and that'll be fun. 26 we have. Do you remember who we have?
Krista
Cesare.
Cesare.
Yes, I can't wait.
God, I got something right today.
Don't hurt yourself, man.
Thank you, Sharon.
Right out. So, yeah, we can't wait to
And
go
then
see you.
we've got Tara on the 2nd.
Yes.
And
she's making it afraid, and she's going to be talking about a lot of
energy healing.
Energy healing and connecting with nature and those kinds of ways. Yeah, so amazing. We have some other people.
Tantra practitioner.
There you go. Thank you.
I got a little bit of drag. I'm listening from another computer. For some reason, one PC doesn't want to put things on the right speed. And then the 16th,
that's going to be your boys' night.
Yeah, it's boys' night. Yeah,
boys' night.
That will be a cryptid Bigfoot. Who knows where we're going to go with that one?
Yes, so there's more to follow on that. So keep your eyes peeled for the upcoming shows. But that will be interesting because I will not be on that night, you guys. So that will be all Mike and his buddies. So we'll see how that goes. But I'll be monitoring from a distance.
Yes. Somebody's got to keep me in line. Yeah. So, again, folks, like, share, let your friends know we're there. Instagram and YouTube, please. If we get those numbers up over 100, we will be doing another reading show on top of the one Kristie's doing. I've been trying to convince her we need to do one. Thanks for we're now on iHeartRadio.
We can definitely do that. We'll schedule it.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure.
We are bouncing all over. So you just need to catch us on Facebook and YouTube. You can catch our podcasts on most of your podcast platforms.
Yes.
So.
Yep. Awesome. Well, we really appreciate all of you being on tonight again and for sharing and liking and for really supporting us and helping us to grow. We really, we can't do it without you. You know, it is what it is, and we do it for you. So we hope you all continue to stay safe and stay well, and hopefully life will start to get back to normal at some point when it's safe for everyone to do so. And just for now, take care of each other. All
right. Thank you, guys.
Have a great night. Stay safe and sample on.